Hey guys, Smelling Roses here. Today I'm back out in a very remote part of eastern Pennsylvania County. We're on some private property near the Banister River, and this is sort of a part 2 to my previous video. If you guys watched the last video, we went and visited some cliffs that are high above the Banister River. Now, I went home and did a little research and took a look at the topographic map for this area, and I just sort of had a feeling that there was more to those cliffs than what I saw on the last visit. So I decided to make another short visit out here to the cliffs to check it out a little bit further. So I don't know if you guys can tell in the video, but climbing up this ridge above the river is very steep. It's almost vertical in places. I've had to crawl on all fours in a couple of places, and when I was here yesterday I had a lot of difficulty getting up here just because there are a lot of loose rocks and loose leaves. And today I came prepared today, and I'm actually wearing my Hill Sound trail crampons. And if you guys remember, I did a review on these, and these are designed mostly for snow and ice. They work great for that application, but in my review I mentioned that I do sometimes wear them at other times of the year, and this is an example of where they come in handy. Those spikes really help me grab in and get good traction on these steep slopes with, you know, a loose, soft, loose surface. So anyway, you can see we've reached the cliffs here. Very massive cliff wall. And when we were here yesterday, we were a little bit further north of here in that direction, maybe a few hundred yards north of here. And I mentioned I wasn't sure how far south to southwest these cliffs ran. And I just wanted to come back out here and take another look, and sure enough, it looks like the cliffs are actually even larger down in this area. So let's get on up here and check it out. It looks pretty cool. It's pretty cool right there. It looks like a little ledge we can actually walk on. Appears to be like a little, some type of little animal den there, and it does appear to be in use. Kind of a little small cave there. Alright guys, I've climbed up this cliff much higher than I was on the previous visit. I would say we're at least 100 feet above the river. And look at this awesome view we have here. It's early morning and the bright sun is washing it out a bit. Excellent view out across the river valley. More awesome views here. Continue to climb up the ridge, and I'm essentially above the cliff now. You can see the terrain is still steep, but it's starting to level out. It's still very rocky, and as I mentioned before, this is all private property, and I'm actually not sure who owns this property up here above the cliff, so don't think we're going to go any higher. Going to enjoy this view for a moment, and then I will work my way back down the way I came up and continue to explore the cliff area down below. See another little hole in the rocks there. It does appear to be in use by some type of wildlife. There's possibly another one right up there. A lot of cracks and crevices here in these rocks. It's very steep up here, but I've got really good footing with the Hill Sounds. Really glad I thought to bring those today. and I'm going to make my way down through there. Alright guys, so we're back to the very narrow ledge that we saw earlier. Going to walk out across here and see what it looks like down here. There's a look back from where we just came. And you can see the rock face up above us. I pointed this out in the previous video as well, but it's just very interesting to take a close look at these rocks, and you can observe the different layers. And I also mentioned there were fossils found in these rocks, prehistoric fossils. Much of what is known about our local geology has come from studies of the rocks in this cliff. Okay guys, I'm now back down to the very base of the cliff, and I'm continuing to travel in a southwesterly direction. So this cliff just keeps going and going. I'm now a considerable distance southwest of where I started. I've now come across a sort of a wash. There's really no water in it now, but you can tell water does flow through here. Some of the rocks are wet in there. There's some water seeping out of the rocks there. I would imagine that perhaps in periods of heavy rain, this could form an awesome waterfall here. Alright guys, so I know it's hard for you to tell in the video. It's still very rocky and very steep through here, but it's less cliff-like. I believe the cliff has sort of started to die out in this area, and I'm not going to continue anymore in this direction. I'm going to just head back the way I came and make my way out of here. Alright guys, so my Hill Sound trail crampons were invaluable on this hike. In the steep terrain with loose leaves and loose rocks, they really gave me some very sure footing, and I was able to climb up in some places today that I was not able to climb up in on my last visit here. So be sure to check out my review of the Hill Sound trail crampons if you missed that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this return to Banister Cliffs. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate all your views and support. Thanks a lot guys, and I'll see you on the trail.